Good. Yeah, no. Yeah, and that's why we put out the piece on her.
Well, what I was going to say was, of course, Greg Caden has a long history of, fibbing and just kind of manipulating the truth, so to speak, or basically he's just always has been questionable as his ethics and even his morality. So, I mean, of course, you look at all these interviews and you look at all these statements that people have made. I mean, they're always questionable, but the way I see it is he always has a lie for a lie when he gets caught. And speaking of that, of course, this new revelation has come out, and of course we've had a DJ. I don't want to give him any publicity, but he's come out with the striped shirt guy that Eugene Deal has come out and said that he stood out that night. Do you have any idea who that person, that striped shirt is, or is it just another one of Greg Caden's?
No, I still have to kind of play dumb on that. I haven't even heard Eugene's interview when he's mentioned something about a striped shirt guy.
Okay.
I haven't even heard that at this point. So it's one of those things where I'm not. I can't even speak to it because I've heard people talk about it. I haven't heard what he had to say about it. I haven't heard how it actually complements or conflicts what he says in the past. As far as I know about Eugene Deal identified Amir Muhammad as the guy that was seen there at the Peterson Auto Museum, and he picked him out of a lineup a couple of times.
Right.
He was even sworn in the Wallace civil trial. He was given a sworn deposition. He was given pictures again, and he was asked what picture was it that was the guy that he identified. And he pointed him out and said he was absolutely sure that was the guy. So, there's no confusion in my mind as to who Eugene Deal identified. Now, if he's gone on and he said that there are other people that he's identified as well, I guess that could be the case. But again, none of those other people went to visit David Mack in prison.
Right.
None of those other people, the striped shirt guy that we know of, didn't go to visit David Mack and give a false Social Security number on his visitor access form.
Right.
Okay. And, none of those other people did that. None of those other people, the striped shirt guy, we don't even know enough about him to know a name. But, none of those other striped shirt guy have any other kind of questionable behaviors or stories about things that happened. In Compton, we talked about, Amir Muhammad and the whole situation with the people ending up dead in the car after he exposed a gun to them on the freeway and they called the police.
Right.
Regular people don't have those kind of things done. They're just not caught up in that kind of a story. And so, I don't know about the guy in the striped shirt. I can't offer an opinion. But, Gene Deal, I find it difficult to believe, and you can correct me in this, but I would find it additionally difficult to believe that Eugene Deal would recant something that he said. It may be that he's augmenting something that he said, but I don't think he's recanting and changing about what he looked at when he saw Amir Muhammad there dressed up as a Nation of Islam guy.
No, he hasn't, and he has never recanted that statement before. And of course, as you said, Amir Muhammad, very questionable character. I mean, several aliases, and of course, a lot of those things have been ignored. And of course, the whole him fingering him as the suspect in the Nick Broomfield documentary. I mean, that speaks volumes as it is. So the striped shirt guy just basically is just another, in my opinion, just another lie, so that he can. It's just one of Greg Caden. He gets caught in a lie, and he gets caught, just fibbing on things, and then of course he has to go into damage control and try to make up some other fallacy. So we don't even know who the striped shirt guy is, but I'm almost certain that it's not a Nation of Islam guy, or it was even associated with that assassination that night. But I do want to ask you a few more questions, RJ. I know we've been on this call, and it's actually been pretty fascinating just listening to everything. You're like a encyclopedia of knowledge when it comes to Tupac and, of course, everything else. So I certainly appreciate it. Do you, in your opinion, oh yeah, absolutely. You're welcome. Do you feel like realistically the two murder weapons are still out there floating around there, or you feel like they've been destroyed?
Oh, that's a good question. All right. So I can tell you that I don't know about the Christopher Wallace murder weapon. And by the way, I can tell you that the two murder weapons are not the same. Some crackpot YouTube user that makes a lot of long selfie videos said that murder weapon for a Biggie and the murder weapon for Tupac were the same, okay? But
Changing barrels.
I can tell you that they're not. And so the Biggie murder weapon, I can't tell you. I don't know. The Tupac murder weapon, we have a lead on the Tupac murder weapon.
Okay.
And according to the people that we've talked to, and I want to be very careful about how I say this.
Okay.
That there is a lead that there might be somebody who has the Tupac murder weapon.
Wow.
And that it's a matter of how do we do this? I mean, this was the same dilemma we had with the confession letter. Who do we take this information to? I don't know if the lead's true or not, but it's kind of like the confession letter in the sense that there's a lot of sense and a lot of truth behind it. And the question becomes, if you can't trust the LAPD, and Russ Poole died at the sheriff's department, and the FBI doesn't really want to get involved, and Vegas is questionable on whether or not they're going to get involved, who do you take this information to? Where do you go?
Yeah.
Because the minute that you say, hey, we may have a line on the murder weapon, or hey, there might be a chance that we know who has the murder weapon, or that we're following a lead on the murder weapon, well then, if you give any more details out than that, then whoever it is that, might have it, or whoever it is that's dealing with it, that whatever surprise you have, they're gonna go put it someplace else. If you say, hey, we found the murder weapon, it's in locker 1313 at Union Station. And we want the crowd to go find out for us.
Okay.
We want to crowdsource that. We want the crowd to go out and crowdsource that. Go find the locker. Get a locker at Union Station.
Okay.
Well, if the people that have the gun in the locker at Union Station hear that this is going on, well, anything looks suspicious, they're going to take the gun and they're going to move it out of Union Station. They're going to put it someplace else, and now we've lost whatever lead that we had. We've now lost because all the alerts have gone off and everybody knows what's going on.
Right.
That's the problem we have with the confession letter. So, at the end of the day, that's the best way I can put it, that I do not believe the murder weapon has been destroyed. If this information is true, okay, I don't believe anything right now, one way or another about it. I don't know if the murder weapon is there, valid. I don't know if the murder weapon has been destroyed.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay, but I have a lead. We're working the lead. We're stuck right now on it.
Okay.
Because we have no allies in trying to get to the truth of the matter.
Gotcha.
And those allies would be the only ones that might be able to get some leverage. And of course, sometimes if you're a person who has, like I said, has a murder weapon or a key piece of evidence, somebody comes knocking on your door, the first question out of their mouth can't be, hey, do you have this evidence?
Right.
Okay. And it's like, oh, wow. So, so that's kind of where it is right now. And I don't want to say anything more about it than that.
Okay.
But I also want to give the fans a sense that new leads do come in every day.
Okay.
Are they valid leads? Are they not valid leads? Some check out, some don't. But, I'm not the kind of person that just because I get a lead on something, I don't just blurt it out.
Right.
Okay. The real detective, the real investigator waits. And it's a long game sometimes. I mean, it's a long-term thing. You have to wait to see if it develops naturally, if there's anything else we can do with our limited resources, that is, to put it out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a pain point for us. I mean, it's frustrating for us because it would be nice to be able to say or to have a relationship with a legitimate law enforcement entity that we could go to and say, we have this information and we can trust that we can get it to you, and that's that. Well, shit. We went to the LAPD, see what happened there. Went to the sheriff, see what happened there. Russ died.
Right.
I'm sorry, who's next? I don't want to be the next guy to go there. I mean,
Yeah.
2 strikes, you want to go for one more? You're 2 strikes down. You want to try it again? That's kind of stupid. So, we're kind of just sitting on things right now, and we're trying to find out what the next move is in developing this lead. It's very interesting, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I think even if you went to the FBI, I mean, I don't think they would pretty much waste any of their time either, because as you mentioned before, and I think a lot of people could agree with this, that, we're looking at 2 dead rappers is what it is, and 20 years has passed by, so I don't think they would want to waste any of their time to do that. So as you said, you do have limitations. You can't take it to the LAPD because they, of course, they can't be trusted to even do the right thing without leaking something, because it's always seems to be the premise is the leak. Everybody, the leak. That's always, the last 3 years, that's all we've really heard is the leak, and of course, it's done no good for the investigation. Now, I did want to ask you though on the Kading thing, as far as is this show, has it been canceled, or are they still going on with the show? Is it what is the run?
I don't know.
Don't know anything.
I don't know. What I know is that there's a show that he's doing with USA Network called Unsolved.
Okay.
Which is probably the dumbest name for somebody who thinks they've solved the case. Probably the dumbest name for a TV show.
Right.
Okay? I mean, it's like, it would be like calling a TV show about the smartest guy in the world idiot. Okay? In my mind, I mean, it makes sense, because it's kind of like, okay, what's your message here? That the crime is still unsolved, or that it was unsolved when you got it, or kind of what the hell? And yet, maybe that's just a working title. Maybe they're going to change it. It could be Greg Kading's 3-Ring Circus. I don't know. But whatever that title or that show is going to become, it's supposedly and allegedly a fictitious version of the investigation of the Biggie Smalls case and the Tupac Shakur case.
Okay.
And I have a big problem with this, and my politics has nothing to do with my problem with it. Like I said, I watched Narcos. Give another plug for that show. Fantastic frickin' show.
Okay.
They have taken some liberties in their detailing of people that were there, people, places, and things that were there.
Uh-huh.
And they talk about drug trafficking, and they talk about the cartels, and they talk about factual events that happened. But some of the dialogue, they say at the very beginning of the show, some of the dialogue has been changed, and maybe some characters have been changed to protect the innocent, or facts have been changed a little bit. And they make that very clear, and that makes it what's called a docudrama.
Okay.
And so they put that out, and it's actually considered a work of fiction, because they've taken real characters and falsified information in it for the sake of the story or whatever, to protect people, whatever.
Okay.
Now, that's the same vein that Universal and USA are going for with this documentary, Unsolved, or not documentary, with this TV show called Unsolved.
Okay.
Which is admittedly called a fictionalized version of the Biggie Smalls and Tupac Shakur investigation. And they've got people in there like Russ Poole and Greg Kading, and okay, TV shows do this a lot. They go back and they look at, cold case files, and they go back and they look at old investigations, and they look at people that were involved. But most of these people that were involved, it's history. It's done. It's been years. Many years have gone by. It's all done, and there's no current investigation going on. There's no, Frank Pena from the show Narcos. I mean, that all happened 20, 30 years ago. He's not investigating anything anymore. In fact, I'm not even sure he's alive.